Hello and welcome back to episode 19 of the 71st Hour podcast. I am your host, Ben, and I am joined here by my wonderful co host, Jamie.
Hello. I don't know what it is, just quickly,
Yeah,
but it always, when you intro the show, it sounds like you're out of breath a little bit. And
it
I'm not
does.
sure what
I
it
do
is.
lower my voice a little bit.
I don't
so
know
I
what it is,
imagine,
but
yeah.
it sounds like you've just sprinted in
Yeah,
and now we're
sprinted
recording
in
it.
last second. And we're also joined by here by our other wonderful co host, Nathan.
What's up? How's it
Wait,
going?
I didn't get wonderful.
Yeah,
What
you
did you
did.
say to me?
No, yeah, you got wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Boring ass
Yeah,
motherfucker.
boring
Yeah,
ass
just-
piece
yeah,
of
you
shit.
Yeah, I guess that's
How you
it's pretty
boys been?
accurate, to be honest.
Pretty
True.
good.
How have I been? It's been a good week.
It's been a good week.
This has
It
been a
has.
packed week for just content, which
It-
is the worst way of like talking about
Yeah,
TV
you
shows
sound like
and
an
movies.
influencer. Like that's
We're consuming stuff. It's just a
Yeah.
consumption of things. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been lots of the TV show finales.
Oh,
got Spider-Verse,
true.
got Diablo
Yeah.
4, Street Fighter 6 if you're a Kuma.
It's
going great. It's going
true. That's been
fantastically.
that's
Yeah,
been
it's-
something. That's been something.
It's
But
been a fantastic week.
well, look, we actually have talked about that a little bit. We actually talked about it a little bit earlier, and I'm glad we're talking a little more. It's that this year has been good. It has been a good year for video games, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say because you brought it up when the Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4 reviews came out, and then there was that screenshot you posted of like
yes.
I'm assuming it was on Twitter, but it was just like all the like the Metacritic scores for a bunch of games that have come out this year so
Yes.
far, and they're all 80 plus in the 90s and very highly
mhm.
rated.
Yeah.
And yeah, it got me thinking like, is this one of like the better, like the best? Is this the best year for gaming? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say since we're only halfway through the year, but it's
Yeah.
already been a stacked year.
It's already been really good. Yeah, we've
Um,
already had some really good games.
Like I had a list of just the games that have come out so far and also games that are coming out soon. So like, if we go through it, we got Diablo 4 this week, we had Dead Space Remake, we had Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts Legacy. It reviewed well,
Yeah.
but I didn't like it that much. Metro
Yeah.
Prime Remastered, which I know Nathan loved. Hi-Fi Rush was awesome, and then Octopath Traveler 2 reviewed very well. Not our kind of bag, but
Yeah. Still did well.
people enjoyed it. And then, think about games coming out. You got Spider-Man 2, Starfield, Alan Wake 2, Pikmin 4, Armored Core 6, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 16, Hollow Knight Silksong, please.
Yeah, please for
Mortal
love.
Kombat 1, Forza Motorsport, Hades 2. Like,
There's
there's a lot.
There's a
Like-
lot coming out. Like we already know that Spider-Man 2 is most likely going to do well. Like I'm 99% sure that's going to do well. Like that.
And
Like,
we've got some
100%.
new details about Spider-Man 2 to talk about. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
do
it's
we?
going to be
Okay.
fantastic. I think there's.
Yeah.
I mean, Insomniac doesn't miss.
No, they
They
always
really
do well.
don't. Like,
Yeah.
they
Even
haven't.
if it's just as good as the last ones, it's gonna be
That's
good.
still good,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Like, I think I think they're going to pop off. I really do. I think this is now that they've got the foundation
Yeah.
with Spider-Man 2018, and even they even like made. I think they made a better game in Miles Morales, to be honest.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so like taking the lessons they learned from those two games and then making a game for PS5, new technology.
Mhm.
You've got Peter and Miles playing together. You got Venom.
Yep.
You got Craven. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I really do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
But even like the games that have already come out this year, like we got a new Zelda game, man, and it was
Yeah.
better than the last one. And the
Yeah.
last one people say is like one of the greatest games of all time. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, if you look at
kind of
Eddie
insane.
list, usually number one is Breath of the Wild, and the fact that Tears of the Kingdom has beaten that out is like insane, right? Like it's
Gonna be holding the 1 and 2 spot.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Basically,
holding the one
yeah.
too, which is insane.
It's very rare that a sequel is better, but also that much better than its predecessor. But like to me, Tears of the Kingdom is that game where you may not get the magic of like exploring the world for the first time, but then you do sort of,
Yeah.
because you've got the
In
underground,
other
you've got the
ways,
depths.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like you've got the familiar in Hyrule, and then even then they play with that where they're like giving you new things in Hyrule that you don't expect. Like you go to the locations that you've been to in Breath of the Wild, and everything's kind of shifted. Like any of the major areas that you explored in Breath of the Wild have been redone and kind of remixed in Tears of the Kingdom in really cool ways. And there's always like cool little like sub stories to find that you kind of don't expect. It's always very unexpected, that game.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's probably going to be game of the year, right? Probably.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I
No,
still
I-
hold out hope that Final Fantasy 16
gonna
gets
beat
game
it
of the
out.
year, just so that I don't have to play getting over it.
We say
but,
4 or
you
5
know,
hours. We said
yeah,
something
it's
like
5
that.
hours. Yeah, we did. Um, but then even then, like, you know, like Nintendo's kind of been on a roll this year with like Metroid Prime Remastered, which is more like a remake, I'd say. I don't know, Nathan, if you'd agree with that. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I'd say I don't know. It's hard to define sometimes, but I think it definitely has more elements of a remake than a remaster. They definitely added a lot of creature comforts that people wanted from the original.
yeah, I think it's definitely the quality of life
Yeah.
changes, and I think on top of how the graphics look, and it's not it really isn't just like a resolution bump. Like those assets look
Oh, they look so much better.
Yeah,
completely different. Like
they
I
look
think
so
they're
much
all
better.
new assets to be honest. They're probably
Yeah.
just using the wireframes and then the rest is just completely redone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that at the beginning of this year I was like,
I thought that was me.
There he
That was me.
goes.
Now there he
Oh.
goes again.
What was he like?
Yeah,
What was he like?
oh my
What was
god,
he
look
like?
at this, look at this fucking webcam, man. I'm fucking
He's back.
PowerPointing. I'm slideshowing. Where was I at before I fucking paused
What he
out?
was like? You said what he was like?
Something you were like.
Oh
Something
yeah, I was
start of the
like
year.
Resident Evil 4 remake is my game of the year.
Yeah, you said
And
at the very
then
start.
every subsequent game after that was like, oh no, this is actually my game of the year. Oh
Yeah.
no, this is actually my game of the year.
Yeah.
And now I've sort of landed at Tears of the Kingdom, and I think that's
Gonna
going to
stay.
remain for a while. I don't think
Yeah.
that's gonna change.
It's it.
Although like
It's
with
that guy.
yeah,
It's that
exactly.
guy. Yeah.
But with Diablo 4, like I don't know, like I think Diablo 4 is gonna be my most played game this year, probably. And so I'm not sure if that weighs differently for me, where I'm like, you know, I've put in more time with it. I've kind of lived it more than Tears of the Kingdom, and so it speaks to me more. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom was. I mean, I played as much Tears of the Kingdom in 2 weeks as I did Elden Ring, and even
Ooh.
more so. I think I was just
Yeah.
like, whenever I had a spare moment, I was
Playing
I
Tears.
think
in
you're at 90
Hyrule,
hours.
in the Sky Isle. Yeah, I've
90
played
hours.
90
Oh my
hours at this point.
God.
Although I don't think that's totally accurate. I think
Surely.
sometimes if you leave it on,
Surely.
it counts sometimes. So you know, or if you're in the menu and it still says you're playing, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that I've actually played 90 hours.
If you leave it like on the Nintendo like home screen with the app open, then yes, it probably still counts towards it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
so it's a little less than 90 hours. And to be fair, I maybe left it for like an hour. So I'm at
Yeah, I was
89
gonna say it
hours.
can't be that much, right? Yeah.
It's not that much. No, I don't leave it on like for hours on end.
Just put it on sleep.
And also on top of that, like with Hi-Fi Rush, I was like, oh dude, Hi-Fi Rush top 3 this year.
Yeah.
It's like in any other year, dude,
Blown out.
Hi-Fi Rush would have been in my top 3, but it's like this is not a good year to release a new IP where you've got these just the banger after banger, man.
Yeah. That was the one thing I was going to quickly say. The one thing I actually really liked about this year as well is that we have had 2 stealth drops, which I love. It's just Nintendo has done with Metroid and Xbox with Hi-Fi Rush. I just love like, oh yeah, this game's out now, by the way.
Yeah.
And I just love that so much. And I like how it came out this year because it, I think, adds to the hype. We've talked about this before. It adds to the hype of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, it's out now. Like, we get to play it now.
Definitely probably hurts their sales, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, God, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. The Dopamine Rush is great.
I mean, the good thing about Hi-Fi Rush is I believe it stealth dropped on a public holiday here,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. You're correct. Yeah.
Public was it Australia Day?
Mm.
It might have been
Hold on,
Australia Day. I'm
hold
not
on.
sure.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
But and that added to it where I was like, oh, I just wake up. There's this event that's happened in the middle of the night, and the game's out, and I'm playing it. It's like, oh fuck yeah, dude, that's sick. Like I got a day off, and I'm playing this game that's awesome and fun and kinetic. And I think like in terms of originality, and then I go back to Tears of the Kingdom. It's so difficult, man. It's like all these games are so good, but then you just have this like golden goose
Yeah.
that comes around like every 6 years, and
Yeah.
and even then like not so much. Like even and I knew Tears of the Kingdom was going to be special when it took them longer to make Tears of the Kingdom than it did Breath of the Wild verse between like the years between Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild were shorter than between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So you can tell like how much they put into it, and
yeah.
it shows in how big that game is. Where I don't think by the end of this year I probably still wouldn't have 100%ed it because you know being distracted with other games. But I was going to say the whole point of this topic was like, you know, in comparison to other years that have come and gone. And so I do have a list of some. We won't go through every game on this list, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out that like some of the years that people say are some of the better years in gaming post 2000, everyone brings up 98 as a massive year, which was a stacked lineup of games. But in our era,
Ben
from
wasn't even
2000
born.
I wasn't
you know.
born.
yeah, exactly. in our era, these are the years that people talk about the most. And so like 2007 was like a really big year for new next gen at the time franchises. You had like the start of Assassin's Creed, BioShock, Mario Galaxy, and Mass Effect, as well as Halo 3, which at that point was like the biggest release ever. Like it was it. I think Halo 3 was like the biggest entertainment launch in history at that point
Yeah, I think so.
of anything, which is wild. And then obviously 2011, I think, is a Nathan year because of Skyrim, right? Like, that
Yeah, I
was a
mean
big
Portal
year.
2 and Skyrim in the same year. That's pretty good. I think there's actually some
Yeah.
others in that year that did resonate with me as well. I just can't remember what they are.
But I would just say I think my favorite year that I can think of was 2020, which is funny. And I think it adds to the fact that we were all stuck at home, and so there was more time to play games.
Yep.
But like there were so many good games. Like you've got Last of Us Part
Shit,
2,
there's some good ones in there.
Final Fantasy VII
Some real
Remake,
good
Miles
ones.
Morales, Animal Crossing, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Microsoft Flight Sim, Cyberpunk 2077. For all of Cyberpunk 2077's mishaps, hey, it ran great on PC. It was a fun
Yeah.
time on PC. if you're on an Xbox One or a PS4, maybe not so much. But
Not so much.
yeah, 2020 was a fantastic year. Where it reminds me of 2023, where it was just banger after banger. And also, you know, even Ghost of Tsushima is 2020 as well, which I didn't add to that list.
Shit,
but,
yeah. I think I'd have to go with 2020 actually.
Dude, 2020 was a
2020 is
fantastic.
a
Dude,
really
2020
good
was a
year.
year where I got to my end of the year where I do like my top 10, you know, in my head. And I couldn't like any of those games could be in my top 3 or top 10. Like it was just
Yeah.
there was so many more. There was like 20 games that could be exchanged in and out. I mean, Ben, what do you think? What's your year?
2018, I used to think was my favorite of like a lot, right? And then you kind of put the list down here, and 2020 is such a stacked year. It really is. There are so many good games that listing.
But 2017 as well.
2018. Okay,
It's,
so
it's definitely between 2020 and 2017 for me.
yeah. No, I can see that. I can see
Because
that.
2017, you got Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Nier Automata for all the weeby nerds out there, Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, which was a really great Assassin's Creed game.
Yes.
Cuphead, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Resident Evil 7. Like, that is also a very stacked year. But then even 2015, man, had Bloodborne and Witcher
Bloodborne,
3,
Witcher
and,
3,
and Metal Gear
yeah.
Solid 5 and Life is Strange.
There's
You know
some-
what I've noticed from going through these like, because what I did was I went to Google and I searched the year and then games, and it gives you like a list of those games.
List of them, yeah.
Every year has fucking bangers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people say like 2014 was a bad year for games. But even 2014, like if I go to 2014 right now, there's some really good games there that I think about fondly. Like you've got South Park: The Stick of Truth. You've got Dark Souls 2, which is maybe not so
Yeah.
much. Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yep.
You've got Bayonetta 2. 2014 was a huge year for Wii U, which is maybe why people say it's not a great year because like
No one
had a
the
fucking
best
Wii
games
U.
were on a console that no one had. But you had Mario Kart 8. You had Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo,
God.
for
Yeah.
Wii U and 3DS. You had Forza Horizon 2, which was fine. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lesser year compared to some other years here,
Definitely.
but there's definitely some great games on this list that, I mean, Titanfall as well, which was, you
True.
know, it was good at the time, you know, when it first
Yeah.
came out. And you've got the Halo Master Chief Collection, which, yeah, I can see why people don't look as fondly on 2014 just because there were a lot of. It was like the growing pains. Like I feel like the first year after a new console releases is like sort of like there's like not a lot to play here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think 2020 is my year at least.
I could
with a
definitely
close
see
second
that.
being 2017.
Of
can see
games
that.
that I enjoyed the most, I think 2020 is definitely up there. Just because there's so many. Like
So many.
There's
I
so
mean,
many. Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx, man, that was a fucking banger. That
Dude,
was,
I
yeah.
will never forget experiencing Half-Life Alyx, where that's the most I played a VR game back to back. Like it was how I played like at Last of Us Part 2, where it was like I wake up, oh, I got nothing to do today because we're all stuck in fucking quarantine. Put on the VR headset, which at that point I was using a Quest plugged into my PC, which wasn't the best experience, but it was fine. And just played it for like 4-hour chunks, and would literally stop because I'm like, I'm getting a headache from
Yeah.
playing this for so
Dying.
long. Yeah, exactly. And I finished it like it's like a 25-hour game. I finished it in like 3 days. Like I was just obsessed with that game. And like I'll never forget the level, Nathan. You know the one where you're sneaking from that enemy in the dark. It's like pitch black, and you've got
like
to
the
like
storage room.
dude,
Yeah.
so good.
I've got a funny
I-
clip on my because I streamed the whole game.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna pick up this bottle to distract him, and I picked it up. I picked one up, and then another one fell behind it, and it just like I just slowly watched this bottle just fall to the floor, and then I look up, and the monster's like right in my face.
Holy shit. Dude, Half-Life Alyx straight up is like it's a horror game.
Oh,
Like one
yeah.
of the first
Straight up,
one of
it's
the first
scary.
times you fight the head crab, it's like literally pitch black except for your torch. It's like it's so good. It's so well done, and I think a lot of people like. I was surprised that wasn't on like because I mean GQ did like a top 100 list. I was surprised that Half-Life Alyx wasn't there, to be honest. Like I think for VR games, like that was a game changer.
It's
For
a
me at
VR
least.
game.
And maybe that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Is like it was a game changer for a genre for a subsection of games that
Are
are just
mediocre.
kind of experiences and
Yeah.
aren't really anything to write home about.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of great years. I think
There's been-
a lot of
yeah.
people will say like, well, no, back in my day we had better games. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but then you got like 2020, and 2020 popped the fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, man. Like, how
Animal
much did we
Crossing
play
was
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing was like a gem
That
of
was the
time
moment.
because since you were in quarantine, like I remember all of us were playing at the same time, and we
Yeah.
would all like sit down and discuss with each other, like, okay, like I need this fruit, and like we would discuss with each other like where to go and what to do, and like trades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it
I
was
think-
very good shit like that. Yeah.
If Animal Crossing didn't make you split it up like day by day, I think I'd probably lose my entire life to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, honestly.
That is the only thing stopped because I played Dinkum, which is Animal Crossing like
Yes,
kind of Stardew
yes.
Valley mix.
Yep.
I lost my life to that game very quickly. I
Mm.
put in like 40 hours in a week,
Mhm.
and which is a lot. It's like a full-time
Yes.
job worth of game.
Yeah,
Yep.
of game, yes.
And that I feel like if Animal Crossing was like that, I just would have lost my life to it. And I probably put in like 3 hours a day anyway.
Yeah.
So it's no small amount.
No,
yeah.
I was the same kind of obsessive where it was like every day I was like my life was Animal Crossing. Like I was
Yeah.
just like my real day the job was literally just the jobs I do in Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Ooh, my plants would have grown today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dude.
you know,
It was like it was a
exactly.
crazy time
Yeah.
and then mixing that in with Doom Eternal was a very weird experience.
Yeah.
Where like
Well,
I'm
wasn't there
playing
a meme?
like I
Wasn't
catch
there-
like a cool whale or a cool shark like a great white shark in Animal Crossing and then I'm like ripping a fucking demon's jaw off.
Wasn't there a meme of that where it was like the dude
Yeah, 'cause
guy
they
and
released on the
Isabel?
same day.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were just.
And I feel like people sleep on Doom Eternal, man. That game was
That game's
fucking
good.
good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like probably, if we discount Destiny shooting, I think Doom
It does-
Eternal has my favorite shooting system out of any game.
It
and
does
especially
feel
for a
really
single player
good.
campaign. It's like so
Mm.
good. I know some people prefer Doom 2016 because it's a little more classic and Doom Eternal
Yeah.
is a little more of like it's a little more modernized, I'd say.
Mm.
But I just loved the sort of like the thing about Doom Eternal that was really great was the kind of the puzzle solving of it all. Like you
Yeah.
have this room of demons. Those demons have different strengths and weaknesses depending on your arsenal of weapons. So like working out how to maneuver through the space while also taking on demons, while also dodging their bullet. Like you're doing like 70,000 micro decisions in like one room all at once, and it's kind of an overloaded feeling, but it feels great when you pull it off, especially on harder
Yeah.
difficulties. I think that game thrives when you're playing on like the hardest difficulty for sure.
100%.
I
And
haven't
I know
played
you
either
guys
of those
haven't-
new ones, so
what's that?
Really?
I haven't played either of them.
Oh, dude, they're so
Oh,
good.
dude,
Game
they're
Pass.
really good.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're on Game Pass, might just
both
play
on
them.
Game Pass.
Yeah, they are fantastic games.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, I don't want to discount 2015 either. 2015 was
yeah.
a fantastic year as well.
Yeah.
I played the shit out of Fallout 4.
You did play the shit out
I
of Fallout
definitely
4.
didn't prefer it compared to Fallout 3, but the base building, it just, yeah. As soon as you let me build anything, it's gone.
And you'll be doing that again in Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
true.
addition to building your own starship. Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's fine.
Starfield is going to be great, man. Let me just tell you.
Dude, I
It's-
can't
it is-
wait.
I
Bro.
believe. I'm fully believing.
Bro, I can't wait for Starfield
Hoping.
to get like a 60 something, and then we just get all the
There's
clips.
no way. There's
all
actually,
the clips.
there's actually
of
no
it.
way it does.
Imagine if it does. I would get all.
Minimum
We're gonna get
80.
all the
Here's
clips.
the thing. Here's the thing with Starfield. It's either going to be a 70 or a 90. I really do think that. I think it's either going to be mid or it's going to be excellent.
I'm going to say 83.
83.
I'm gonna say 83.
83.
What I was gonna
Man.
say is I can't wait for it not to do well for some reason, and I want to get all the clips of you, Jamie, saying that it's gonna do really
No,
well.
it's not. Dude, my nose. My nose is running. I'm getting emotional about this. No, but like, even looking at the gameplay they showed last year at not E3,
Mhm.
like it looks like a Bethesda game,
Mhm.
which take that as you will. Like they haven't really evolved that look. I'd say it still feels like the game that they made back in 2008 with Fallout 3 and the game they made in 2011 with Skyrim. But just the exploration, like I think
Yeah.
it all depends on how diverse the planets are.
Yes.
If it is just like No Man's Sky, where you go to a planet and it's like, this is a fucking barren wasteland. There's nothing
Yeah.
cool here at all. Like, and they've got better. I think No Man's
Yeah,
Sky's
it's
gotten
different
better
now.
at that.
Yeah.
It's
But,
frustrating, but like at the start, it was very bad. It was just the same
It's
thing, but just
terrible.
recolored.
I
Yeah.
I just hope that each planet has something cool on it. That doesn't take me 7 hours of walking around nothingness to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I get
yeah.
you.
And I guess the benefit will be what I think is gonna be cool about Starfield is that because it's a predetermined world, it's not randomly generated. In terms of like how No Man's Sky does it, where each planet you kind of land on is new and
Yeah.
unique. You'll be able to be like, oh, dude, you got to go here, go to this planet, go to these coordinates. There's something cool there, and it'll be like that Tears of the Kingdom thing. I'm hoping, where it's like,
I'm
where,
hoping,
where
but
like,
yeah.
I'm coping. I'm hoping and I'm coping. Where like we have a chat and we're just like, dude, you got to go here and check this out. There's a cool thing here, or there's a cool side quest, or there's a cool like. I think that whole exploration stuff is going to be really, really. I really hope will be really, really cool. Like it's all hoping. It's all hoping to be honest.
It's all coping.
It's all cope.
I
All
will
cope.
say this is the longest we've gone without a Bethesda game.
That is
Studios
true.
game.
Was
I have
that
a
some quite-
question.
76?
Since we were talking about No Man's Sky,
Yeah.
I know Seto, you've put a decent amount of time into it. Jamie, not
yeah,
so
about
much.
200 hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm probably put 30 hours in across a bunch of different playthroughs that we keep starting and stopping.
Yeah.
It's mainly my fault, to be honest, because I stopped playing them.
have you come across? It's only happened to me once. Have you come across something that someone else has discovered before?
I
I can't remember a
think-
time where that happened.
I think once I did. Because basically what I was doing is I was trying to find a carrier and I was hopping universes to find one. And I think I found one planet that was named after a player, but that is the only time ever in my like 200-ish hours of playing that game that I actually found
Yeah,
something.
happened to me after like 70 hours once. I found one
Yeah.
system that someone had discovered, and that was it.
Yeah.
Never found
exactly.
any again.
That's a cool
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah,
And actually, the
Yeah.
fact that it takes so long, I think adds to it.
yeah, for
100%.
sure.
You know,
100%.
like it's funny. Obviously, No Man's Sky came out, I believe, in 2016. So like, I don't have 2016 on this list, but I would say that's a fantastic game now. And it's
Oh, it's
weird
really
how
good,
we've
yeah.
kind of how games have changed, where it's not so much about when they release, it's about what they become.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I sort of,
Which,
part of me
that's a
hates
good
it
and
because
bad
I'm always
thing.
like,
That's- yeah.
I fucking hate when they're like, day one is just the beginning of a. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want a fucking journey. I want the game to be how it should
Good.
be at launch.
Yeah, I
Make
want to
Breath
be.
of the World Tears of the Kingdom. Just make it. For
Just make one of the greatest games of all time. Just game design the shit out of it and literally make a game that no other game developer can do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure Tears
Um,
of the Kingdom got delayed internally so many times.
Oh,
they
probably,
well,
yeah,
there
yeah.
was they did it in the Ian Nima did an interview where he was like, we were ready to ship March 2022, but we delayed it for a year to polish it.
Wow.
So like it
Only
was
Nintendo
content
does
complete.
that.
Yeah, I was saying, only
dude, like
Nintendo
no
can
other
do that,
no,
right?
because every other developer, and obviously Nintendo's greedy as well, but
Yeah.
every other publisher is incredibly like financially driven, in a way that definitely hurts games.
The games,
and
Which we'll
Nintendo
talk
is
about later.
very sacred to that, where they're like, even though, I mean, Nintendo Switch is sell like that. I guess Nintendo's in a unique position where no matter what games they release, Switches will sell.
Yeah,
They
for
just
sure.
keep selling. Even this year after Tears of the Kingdom, we really have Pikmin 4, and that's it.
Mm.
Which you assume means there's going to be a new Switch coming. They've got to announce a new console soon because there's just nothing lined
Nothing
up
else.
at all.
Yeah.
And the only other game that I can think of coming would be Metroid Prime 4, but that seems like it's very far away
That's
because it's
pretty
been
far out.
rebooted and it only
Yeah.
got rebooted, I believe, in 2020, so it's only been a few years. So, yeah, Nintendo's in that unique position where they can just, they're still going to make a shit ton of money even if they're not releasing huge banger games every year.
Yeah.
But they still do to an extent. Like they had last year they had Bayonetta 3, I guess.
Yeah.
which was probably a big game for them. But I know I wasn't playing my Switch much last year. That's for sure. Compared to this year with Tears of the Kingdom.
Let me ask you something quickly. Do you think that 2023 is actually going to contend to be the best year of all time? I think like we're already having pretty good contender with the games we already
I
have.
think it's pretty much
now.
already there as it is.
Yeah, right
Adding
now,
on
and we have
the
It's
rest.
so hard
many
because I guess
more.
the thing with me is I look so fondly back on what's come in the past. Like it's sort of nostalgia. So it's
Yeah.
hard to like from like a semi-objective view be like these games are as good as the games I remember playing 5 years ago. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic games.
For me, already,
Like even Jedi
it's
Survivor,
added-
man. Like we haven't
Yeah.
even mentioned that, and that's just like that was so fucking good. And it's
That was a
and it's
great game.
only been sort of soiled by that bad performance, which I believe is now fixed at that point.
Yeah.
It's not as at least as bad as it used to be. Still got the stuttering though. That's honestly the killer. I don't even
Yeah.
mind about the frame
Yeah.
drops. It's just the stutters. Like get them out of PC gaming, dude.
Like, for me, 2023 is already based for me already.
It's pretty damn close for me. I think
Yeah.
2 or 3 more of these games from the to come list, and
True.
It's,
Yeah,
it's the,
I think
it's the
like
it's
Spider
the,
because we have Spider-Man 2, which we already know is gonna do well. I'm really excited for Armored Core, and like if Starfield does well, it's easily going to be my favorite.
Alan
game.
Wake
It's
2 for
Jova.
me. It's
Alan
Yeah,
Wake 2 is
Jova.
gonna be so good. It was
Oh
actually
yeah,
a,
true, bro. That's it. Like Alan Wake 2 is gonna be like, dude, I'm so excited for that as well.
There was
That's gonna be so
an interview today about Alan Wake 2. So it's sort of like you do two sort of campaigns
good.
where you have the Alan Wake side of the story and then you have the I believe her name is Sega.
yeah,
like
something
Saga.
like that. Yeah.
Is it,
And they said that they were inspired by like True Detective season 1 and 7,
That's
which just
cool.
like, bro, I mean, talk about fucking fantastic inspiration.
yeah.
And they were mentioning like there's it's gonna be sort of semi-open world-ish, where it's like you're sort of exploring, which very excited for that. Love that it's
Like
not
that.
fully open world. It's just like it's like
Yep.
these big kind of areas, but they're not. They're very well designed and well polished up.
Like a linear open world.
Yeah, exactly. Ah, man, I think Alan Wake 2 is gonna. I think Alan Wake 2 is gonna be a surprise. Honestly,
I think it'll slap.
I think it's gonna. I mean, Control was fantastic.
I love that game.
Dude, Control is. I feel like we forget about Control because it came out in 2019, which was a year that people sort of don't think as fondly about. And I mean, case in point, I didn't put it on this list.
Yeah.
But 2019 had fantastic games. It had Control.
Yeah.
You had Sekiro. You had Outer Wilds.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh
Outer
my God,
Wilds
yeah.
was like
holy
ones.
shit,
fantastic.
Yeah.
There's others too. Hold on, I'll just quickly I'll just bring them up.
I was looking to say, boys, you forgot about one game that released this year. That's probably one of the best games of all time. Dead Island 2. I see you forgot to
Yeah,
put
I
it on this
specifically
list.
left that off the list.
Yeah.
And no one.
And Gold.
No one is going to remember that. And you won't be surprised to see that Redfall and Gollum are not on this list as well.
Not surprised at all.
We'll forget all about those games.
But yeah, no, I think like. So is Alan Wake 2? Do you know if is it gonna be like Resident Evil, where it's actually like 2 separate campaigns that interweave with each other?
I
Or-
didn't read, so I don't want to read. I didn't read too much
Yeah,
into it
I'm
because
not-
I
I'm not
don't
looking
want to
at
know
anything. Yeah.
necessarily.
anything like that. Yeah. Okay.
But the fact that they're saying there's specifically 2 different campaigns, they've got to interlock somehow. Like I feel like it's not going to be
Yeah.
like you play all as Saga and then you play all as Alan Wake.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
think
if
it'll
you like
be
interweave, like you
Mixed
gotta.
matched. One's in the future and one's in the current or whatever, or the past and the
Ooh,
current.
okay.
And she's playing through Alan's writings, and then you will go back and you play through
Okay.
Alan
Perfect.
while
Yep.
he's writing,
That's
and then
cool.
she's playing through the current like era of it
That's
happening.
really cool.
Maybe
like that
I don't
one.
know, maybe not. And then at the end, maybe
no,
they meet
that's
up.
a great theory.
Yeah,
That's a good theory. Yeah.
I think the Alan Wake stuff will be in the past. I think all of Alan Wake's gameplay will be in the past,
Yes.
and then Saga will be the present.
Yeah.
And at some point they'll interweave. Probably at a climactic moment in the game.
yeah. When she finally comes to the detective conclusion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I honestly think I think Alan Wake 2 is. I think I'm most excited for Alan Wake 2 this year. To be honest.
Of what's left, I'd say yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Man, hopefully Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty hits. There's a chance that it won't, but I think
I think that CD Projekt Red has been very careful with how they've been handling this, and they really want this to hit because of after everything with Cyberpunk. Yeah, it's gotten good fan base now, but like they don't want another Cyberpunk 2077 at the start. You know what I mean?
mean,
They want this to hit.
I was gonna say there's 2 things that give me hope about Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.
Idris Elba.
the fact that there's no, it's not old, it's not interesting. It's not just because I got on my fantasy critic. Although that, I picked it for a reason. I also picked Redfall.
That's
Not
true.
this I will say, here's the thing about Redfall, right? Is we did our fantasy critic the week before they showed like the Redfall gameplay, and the second week of the podcast, what's the title? We're worried about Redfall. Like, motherfucker, I knew. It's just I didn't know soon enough.
I love every single time, Jamie, that we talk about the fantasy critic or Redfall, you always bring this up.
I will continually. I'm gonna hammer it home that it wasn't it was a mistake, but it wasn't a bad choice until the second podcast.
Yes, true. True.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk, no last gen, no Xbox One and PS4. It's just next gen, and it's taken a long time to release. Like, sure. Cyberpunk released in 2020. This is now coming out in 2023. That's a
DLC,
long.
Right?
It's an expansion. They're calling it an expansion.
Okay.
It's the only expansion they're making for this game, which I'm a little bit. I'm a little disappointed, honestly. I would have liked.
Depends how big it is.
They did what The Witcher 3 did, where it was the 2 DLC packs. What did you say, Nathan?
Depends how big it is.
It's true. I think it will be pretty big.
Yeah.
You got Idris Elba. He's in it. Like that's. Yeah. That's not one of my hopes. That's not why I'm hoping for it. It's just like, I think, I think having Idris Elba means that they're putting a lot of effort into this, because they wouldn't just like get that kind of talent if it's just like a whatever DLC,
Yeah.
The rumor is now it's coming out in August, so coming up soonish.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Final Fantasy 16. I know I've been championing that game for a long time.
You've been championing it, yeah. You really have.
That game is I'm telling you, that game is gonna come out and it's gonna have fantastic fucking reviews. I'm booking it now.
Definitely. Yeah, almost likely. Yeah, 100%. And
it's going to be. It is going to be at the very least nominated for Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, it'll be nominated.
It will absolutely be nominated. It is by the team that did Final Fantasy 14, and they are fantastic. I've heard.
See, that's the thing. If you betted that would be nominated, I would have taken that bet. But you said it's gonna win Game of the Year.
There's still a chance.
Yeah, there's still a chance.
Here's the thing, right? Is that with the Game Awards, with people when they're voting, people do tend to forget. They forget things sometimes.
Well, they forget about the greatest game of the time.
Games that release earlier in the year, they start to forget like how good something was, because it's been so long since they played it, and the impact's it's softened a little bit. It happens sometimes.
Elden Ring still beat God of War Ragnarok.
Yes, but Elden Ring was a life changer, and Tears of the Kingdom also a life changer. But
even more so, maybe.
It's a stack year.
I would say even more so, but like. But yeah, we also.
I know Tears of the Kingdom is going to win Game of the Year. At this point, I know it's going to win. But there is like a slim chance that there will be the people that really love stories, and they aren't impressed with Tears of the Kingdom story, and 16 nails it. Think about it this way: like, almost objectively, Hades was the Game of the Year for 2020. Last of Us Part 2 won. I think Hades is a better game.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
I think Hades should have, like, from like a pure like game standpoint as a video game, Hades is the better game.
Okay.
Because it's got everything.
Interesting.
It's got the art style, it's got the gameplay loop, it's got the characters, it's got the story, it's got the progression, like all of it. It's just like immaculate.
But did the story make you feel?
Not as much.
Yeah.
Not as much as Last of Us.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice, and I think you're wrong. But
I probably will be wrong. But you know what I'm going to be right about? I'm still winning this fantasy critic. I still believe.
I actually, like, when we talk about fantasy critic, I was going to talk about this, but yeah, I do think that you have the end game. You have the final year. It's stacked.
The end of the year is mine.
Yeah, you have it stacked right now.
I mean, it's not all mine. Anyway, we're not going to go over fantasy critic. We will add.
When is that? When is that fantasy critic we're going to talk about?
Probably coming up.
Yeah, it's probably like
our quarterly review.
End of June, I believe, is what we.
Oh, okay. So
after probably post Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, we also talk about Hollow Knight Silksong as well.
I was gonna say Silksong. That's what I was gonna say. It's like Silksong is coming up as well, which hopefully that comes out this year.
I think there's a good chance that I'm assuming it'll probably be shown at Microsoft's presentation.
That'll make a lot of sense.
There's a really I'm expecting at this point a February 2024 release date. Now, I think it's gonna get pushed.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think even just for like looking at the end of the year, they probably don't want to release around all these games. Like I think
Yeah,
they're just gonna
it's
get
really
drowned
scary.
out a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
Because like what month would they? You know, I mean September is completely stacked at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's you got Mortal Kombat 1, Starfield, probably
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know.
It
I
is
don't know
scary.
when Silk Song hits. Also, I mean, if on the other hand, like Silk Song could probably release whenever, and it's gonna get a lot of fanfare because it's there's a massive,
Massive
massive fan
following.
base behind Hollow Knight now.
Mhm.
But I would just be happy whenever they release it because I think they're an Aussie team. I'm
Mm.
sure they're feeling the pressure. I'm sure because they made their first game was like, I mean, it was fucking Hollow Knight, man. Like that's
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Good
fantastic
game.
video game.
Good game.
Um, and then there's Hades too as well.
Yeah.
coming this
Which is
year.
like,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
That is this year. Yeah.
We'll
Beta's
see.
out this year, right?
It's coming in early access this year.
Yeah.
So,
So
you know,
you know.
we'll see.
You know. Yeah.
I'm not
right.
even sure if I'm necessarily going to play it until it's fully done.
Same.
Because I
gonna
waited
wait.
because when Hades got announced, actually got announced as an Epic Game Store exclusive. When they revealed the Epic Game Store, I think it was at like one of the Game Awards. I was like, that looks fantastic. I am just gonna wait for it to be done because I don't want to do the whole thing, especially with a roguelite where it's like, oh, now we've added the second area of the game. It's like, oh, I
Yeah, you
really,
don't
I
really want
really
that.
want to just have the full experience. I don't want to just be like almost playtesting it, in
Yeah.
a way.
100%.
Um,
100%. Wait, is Hyperlight Breaker coming out this year, or is that have?
that it's yeah, it's got a 2023 date.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Not
okay.
like a specific date, but a year.
It's coming out.
That's
yeah.
also early access. Yeah,
That's also early access. Yeah.
That-
Very good.
I'm looking forward to that. to be
I am
honest.
very much looking forward to that. But yeah, so yeah, this year is looking very stacked. But yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see. The main ones I'm looking out for is Starfield and Alan Wake 2. If they do well, this is definitely my game of the year. Like, no, sorry, not game of the year. This will be my year for games. So the other way
What
around.
is your game of the year so far? Zeto?
This I
'Cause you didn't play
haven't-
Tears of the Kingdom.
I didn't play Tears of the Kingdom. If I did, it probably would be because I
Well, yeah.
really liked Breath of the Wild. Right now, it's still probably Resident Evil 4 remake. Like, that's really hard though. Like, it's really tough to say because I really like Diablo. I really like the Dead Space remake, and I really like the remake. Like, those three are really really good. I haven't played Survivor or Tears of the Kingdom yet. Right? I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna play Survivor now since I got a new PC. I'm probably gonna play that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Do
I
it.
just have to wait and
It's a
see.
good game.
Yeah, but then
Wait,
Hi-Fi
have you
Rush as
you,
well.
you played Fallen Order, right, Zeto?
I play Fallen Order. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, there's Hi-Fi Rush as well, which is also really good. Like,
Hi-Fi
it's
Rush
hard
is
to say.
fantastic, man.
I think
I'm actually a bit
enjoy-
sad for Hi-Fi Rush, to be honest. Because
Yeah,
like I think in any like if it came out last year,
easy.
probably
top.
would have been
top
of-
three.
Oh wait, no, it wouldn't. I forgot about Elden Ring.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
It-
like
it
Elden
probably
Ring,
went
God
top
of War
five for
Ragnarok
me.
came out last year.
yeah. Probably went top 5. Like, yeah.
It would have been
Um,
nominated for sure. I don't think.
100%.
See, here's the thing: is I'm not sure if it'll be nominated this year.
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think so. There's
this point.
so many other games.
I think it's just
Like,
been. I mean, it came out in January, which is typically a month where, I was joking before about Tears of the Kingdom being forgotten, but January games typically do get forgotten,
no, 100%,
just because it's
100%.
like there are rare circumstances where that's not the case. Like I think the last
Yeah.
one I can think of was Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
Was one that came out in January and it ended up being nominated at the end of the year. But that was a light year, to be honest, and not enough people played Outer Wilds. So fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like,
Outer
think
Wilds
right
should've won Game
now,
of the Year. God damn.
oh, I should have. Yeah, that was
Boy
such a good
game.
game. I think Resident Evil 4 right now is probably my game of the year right now. However,
Safe
there
pick.
are some games coming up later that probably very easily could beat it out. Like, there's some games that could very easily beat it out.
What do we think about Pikmin 4? We excited for that one?
I have no idea.
Next month? Next
I
month?
don't have
I'm
any
sure it'll
idea.
be good.
Yeah,
But
I have no
yeah,
idea.
one of those things where it's like, I don't care when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's sort of I'm excited to try it out, but I haven't played a Pikmin game before.
Yeah.
So I'm not like super excited for it, but I'll
Yeah.
I'll probably play it obviously if there's nothing around July.
Yeah.
And Armored Core 6 as well.
I'm that's what
It's weird. Like I'm not. It's weird that I like Elden Ring was like a life changing experience for me. Not being hyperbolic at all. But but Armored Core 6 is like. I don't want to shoot stuff. I want to use a sword. Like I
See,
want to.
I'm
just not like.
I am the exact opposite. I'm so excited about Armored Core 6.
I hope it's
so
good.
excited.
I mean,
Yeah.
I doubly hope.
Yeah.
I've got skin in the game.
Look, most likely it is the From Software game. Like, this is like the first time they come back to the Armored Core series in a very long time,
But all
right?
the Armored Core games scored so mid.
They did. But remember, this is after all of
This
their
is
experience.
post Souls game.
This is
I
era.
think this is
Souls
going to be a
game.
bit of a.
No way. No, it's not going to be
Really?
bad. It's not going to be bad.
No, I think
I know I
that,
probably won't like it, but
No.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure if
I-
I'm going to like it.
I
I just hope that reviewers like it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I am
I
very
don't give a
deep
shit
in
if I
this
like it at this
fantasy
point.
I am very excited for this. I am. If it's not good, I'll be very sad. But I do generally hope it's gonna be really good because I'm very excited for it. Like,
I'm
because
definitely
the
going to
thing
play
is-
it.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, we haven't had that many good mech games. If you think about it, we have Titanfall. We have Titanfall 2, which is also Titanfall 2 is really good. It's just bad timing release, right? But we haven't had that really good mech games I can really think of, right?
not really. Yeah.
Yeah, not really,
That's what I can
right?
think of.
Yeah,
I'm sure
like,
there's some fucking weeb ass Gundam game out there somewhere that someone's jacking off
but
to
like,
now.
but like, Titanfall 2 is the only one I can really think of where it's actually like a good game that has mechs. But
I
like,
think there's
that's
other
really
good mech games, surely.
Yeah, I probably look
I
it up. if you want
mean,
to.
yeah, mech games. Here we go.
Yeah, mech games. Just look it up quickly. But yeah,
Uh,
like Titanfall 2 is the only one I can really think of right off the bat, and that one has fallen apart because it's just horrible release because they wanted a competitor for some reason.
Yeah, there's not much here.
There's not,
There's
right?
not much that I can
There's not
see, to be
much.
honest. It's a lot of
Really?
them are
Yeah.
Armored Core.
Yeah, I told
A
you.
lot of the
like,
when I search mech games, a lot of them are just the Armored Core. There's Mech Warrior 5, you
what the
know?
hell is that?
Oh.
Mech Warrior.
But yeah, it
Oh.
came out in 2019. It's I can't find the score. I can't find the score for it.
Yeah, hold on, Mech
Hold on,
Warrior
hold on,
5.
hold on.
I'm
Open
looking it
critic.
up. I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll find it. It's all right. It's got a 73%. It's not
Okay.
great. People just
three,
hate
plus
mech
three.
games, dude, because all the Armored Core games are around that too. They just hate the mechs.
Yeah, everyone hates. Well, like, they think Titanfall 2 is
happened?
the only one that actually people like because it.
Dude, Titanfall 2 was so good.
Yeah, and EA fucked it. That's what
Apparently,
they
you know, it's funny. I always used to say that EA fucked it, but apparently it was Respawn who wanted to
did. It
release
was
them.
Respawn. Really, really. They wanted to release it between
But they fucked
COD and Battlefield. Yeah,
Dude,
correct.
Titanfall 2 got an 87,
Yeah, dude, did
Wow.
well.
and there's
Did
no
well.
Titanfall 2. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, did you hear that?
you have to
didn't
imagine
hear
at
that?
some point there will be a Titanfall 3.
Didn't you hear those talks about it or something like that? Like Aaron Keller.
But there
or
was a
something like that?
cancelled Apex Legends single player game,
Yeah. Well, no.
which
like,
was sort of going to be Titanfall 3 esque, but it
Yeah.
was more Apex.
Yeah, but I swear to God, it was like something like this month where it was like Aaron Keller or something that came out and said like, oh, there's like talks of Titanfall 3 or some shit. Like
Who?
those like, was it Aaron Keller? Or was that someone else I'm thinking of?
Who?
I don't know. Wait, is that his
Ellen
name?
Keller.
No, Aaron.
Who's Aaron?
Is that his
Fucking
name?
Helen Keller is the best.
Helen Keller.
Aaron Keller is.
Am I-
Oh, is
I'm
he an
thinking
Overwatch
of a
player?
name. It's something Keller. It's something Keller.
Wait,
Hold
no,
on.
he's
that-
the head of the fucking Overwatch team at Blizzard.
Oh, is he? Oh, I think it's something complete. No, because like, there is.
Yeah, no, Overwatch canceled their single player.
Yeah.
that's why it's in your head then.
Yeah. No,
Um,
there was that. No, but there was some talk about Titanfall
No, there
3.
definitely was something about a Titanfall 3.
It was something that came out like this month or last month. Like because I do know about the single player game that was canceled. I do remember that, but like there was something that was talked about.
When I said Titanfall 3, there's this article. Please stop talking about Titanfall 3. It hurts too much.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do hope for Titanfall 3. Jesus Christ, I do hope for that because I think it'll be good. But
I got to say, EA's on a bit of a roll. You know,
They
so
are doing
with
well.
single player games, you know, they've
They are doing
released
well.
some fantastic
Didn't-
single player
didn't-
games. You
didn't
got Dead
EA
Space
was-
Remake, you got Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
didn't EA weren't they the people that said that single player games are finished? Weren't they the people?
It
that
was
said
just
that?
one executive.
Yeah, it said
It
that.
was and even
Smoking
then,
crack.
I remember when they said that. Like, I think it was the head of Respawn was like, "No, they're not. Don't listen to him. Like, we're the ones actually making the games. Don't worry about what he's saying."
Single player games.
It was
are
just some
finished.
fucking like big wig fucking executive at EA.
That's really funny.
Who doesn't know what he's talking about.
No,
I will
not at
say
all.
what that was. It was after Battlefront 2.
Oh,
released.
okay.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was around
yeah.
that time.
Yeah, which
Man,
that
that
had
was
one of the
Battlefront
worst
2,
single player
man.
games. That was such a bad single player.
That was so disappointing. Yeah, the single player
Yeah.
wasn't that great at all.
Yeah.
It was
It was a cool
serviceable.
idea. It was a cool idea. Completely botched it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. I think. Do we want to move to the hotfix?
Yeah, we should go to hotfix now.
We can
Yeah,
move on. We
there's-
can move on.
We
Basically,
can't
the
get away
answer to the
from it.
question is 2023 the greatest year for games. We don't know yet.
Yeah, don't know. We'll talk about
Here's
it at
your
the end of the
answer.
year. Talk about it at the end
Before
of
we
the year.
move on, something
Yeah.
I'm sure I've noticed this before. Ben, you look like an edgy teen with that poster in the back, the fucking image.
Oh,
in the
the
background.
Joker one right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, the Joker. Yeah.
Let me get that in there.
Yeah, the Joker. This bad boy right there. Yeah. There is some history with this. There's some history with this actually. So it used to be my sister's because she loves superheroes and she loved the Heath Ledger one. This is one of. Hold on. Let me. I'll let you know.
Joker's the villain.
It is one of 250
Wow.
in the
Wow.
world. Is one of 250 in the world. And my sister didn't want it more. She wanted to sell it. I'm like, nah, I want it. So she gave it to me, and now it's here. That's just,
She was gonna sell it.
She was gonna sell it. Yeah, she was gonna sell it.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But I was there, and I said, no, I want it. So I just took it from her, and I literally took it. Like I went to her place when I went over, and then with my brother Daniel, we picked it up, put it into my car, and I left. I just took it from her. That's just what I did.
I just
Anyway.
imagine every night you just like you just put on the Joker makeup and you walk up to that picture and you just go along his face.
Or he's gotta do it for him.
Yeah, I can do it.
Jesus Christ.
No, yeah, it is massive, but yeah, no, it's just in the background right now. So yeah.
It's like I just imagine the what's the cringe gamer meme where it's like I don't when people say I don't have a life, I actually have many or whatever, and it's just,
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
and it's just I don't know why it
It's
would
all the
pair that with
personas, yeah.
fucking Heath Ledger's Joker, but it just seems like a thing.
Just Joker. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been in the background for a while. It's always been
has,
there.
yeah.
It has been there for a very long time. But yeah, so I think we'll move on to the hotfixes. And a
move
game
on.
that we cannot escape. We're gonna talk about Redfall again, Jamie.
Yeah, this is the last time. I
Yeah.
swear this is the last time
The
ever.
last time we
Um,
ever speak about Redfall again.
Yeah.
We swear.
No, the reason I bring this up is because we were all wondering like, what the fuck happened
what the
with
fuck
Redfall?
happened? Yeah.
What happened with these fucking cutscenes, man? It
I
actually
love it.
actively pisses me off looking at this game.
Yeah.
Like
it's really-
I've never had such an aggressive reaction to a game, but Redfall.
Jamie
was that.
actually wants to punch his monitor. Like
yeah.
you actually want to
Just
start
destroy
punching.
my computer, my PC setup. Yeah, so there was a Bloomberg report by the guy that always leaks this shit, Jason Schreier, who is always right. I mean, he's just very, very good at his job, and you can always trust what he's saying.
Wait, there was
So he
kill
had
trees?
he talked to some people at Arcane Austin, who are currently there, about what the fuck happened. So I've taken some dot points from the article, and we can discuss them. But I just thought it was interesting and very sad, to be honest. So let's begin. So it starts with Redfall began development when ZeniMax was looking to be acquired and was encouraging its studios to pivot towards live service, presumably to increase its value. This also led to the generally panned Youngblood and Fallout 76, which were very bad as well. Around 70% of the staff who worked on Prey left the company during Redfall's development, at least partially due to disinterest in working on a multiplayer game.
Jeez,
shit.
understandable.
70%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
That is, bro, this is like the ship of Theseus, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't say I came out with that myself. That was literally on Twitter. Someone was like, "This is literally like this is not Arcane Austin anymore at this point." After the acquisition, some Arcane staff hoped Microsoft would step in and either cancel the game or allow it to be rebooted, which is just like, this sucks, man. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly don't understand. I partially don't understand Microsoft's idea behind acquiring these studios, and then just letting ZeniMax
And then
do
hands off, right?
whatever with them. Like,
yeah.
because then it just looks bad on you. Like if
Yeah.
ZeniMax releases dog shit fucking games like Redfall, I mean, who is everyone shitting on Twitter?
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Because it's an Xbox exclusive. It was marketed as a major Game Pass release, and it's dead. Like no one's
Yeah.
playing this game now.
Yeah.
It's actually left the top 50 on Xbox, which is crazy.
That was fast.
Like
That was
very
really
fast. Within a month, it was gone. It's at like 200 players on Steam now daily.
Yeah,
even
280
less. I think it's 100 and something.
200?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Last.
Check it now. I believe
24
I think the
hours?
last time I saw it, 168 players or something.
123 less 24 hours. Right now, there's only 50.
What the fuck?
Bro, like this game. I mean, this game is horrendous.
Oh, it's
like
terrible.
it is
Yeah.
just, it is
Yeah.
That's crazy.
beyond bad.
Yeah.
And no one could have predicted it being that bad, even after seeing the gameplay and being like, this does not look like it's going to be a good
No.
time.
Yeah.
And they also
It's
say for
really
a substantial chunk of development, Redfall had a cash shop for purchasing cosmetics, as we saw in pre-release leaks, though this was ultimately scrapped.
Jesus
I couldn't even
Christ,
imagine. Dude, could you
bro.
imagine if this
Jeez.
released
Added
with
to the
some
pile of
fucking
shit.
shitty microtransaction shop?
Dude, my God.
And the last part, which really reminds me of BioWare with Anthem, leaders promised that arcane magic would manifest at the last minute and save the game during a poor development cycle. And then similar to
Arcane
BioWare,
magic.
user regarding
Arcane
Anthem.
magic.
This is exactly what the executives of BioWare said. They were like, "Oh, dude, we made the Mass Effect trilogy.
They're just
We'll use
coping.
our
Yeah.
BioWare magic we'll pull through in the end."
Yeah, that's shit. Like, and the thing is, like, bro, PlayStation comes out with all of these amazing exclusives, right? They have so many good
Because
ones.
they're more
and-
hands-on.
Yeah, and then Xbox comes out and they have Redfall, right?
And that's the thing is like it's really not even Xbox's fault, except for the fact
No.
that they mismanaged the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Really, that's like the quality of the game is solely on whoever was managing this project at ZeniMax.
Yeah.
And I hope they're gone at this point because like
Yeah, bro.
I just don't understand why I can't even imagine. Can you imagine being an executive at Xbox, watching this game be played, and thinking, "This is a Game Pass. We need to release this."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like I understand maybe the hesitancy to do that because like you can look at it from their perspective, being like, okay, we acquire this studio, this company, and then we cancel a game that's been in production at the studio. I could see there being a lot of pushback, being like, "Oh, Microsoft's overextending, they're ruining Bethesda." But
I think
then-
that shows more courage than anything, to be honest with you. If it's
Sure.
not up to their standard, then they should just get rid of it.
Yeah, Microsoft has had this issue where there's been this stigma where they keep canceling games. Like if you go back and look at like an E3 press conference by Xbox in like say 2016 or 2015, 2016, I'd say at least 50 to 60% of the games they showed at those press conferences got cancelled.
Yeah, they just need to not say anything until they're sure.
I'm thinking about games like there was going to be a co-op Fable game that
Oh, yeah.
was announced, got cancelled. They were rebooting that Magic card system game
Yep,
that got cancelled. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, there was the Dragon one with Xbox Dragon game. What was it called? Man, I'm blanking so hard. It was by Scalebound.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was going to be by Platinum.
Yeah,
It was meant to be released in 2017, got cancelled as well. And to be honest, all of these cancellations, the Fable one was especially bad because they actually shuttered the studio that was
Shit.
making it.
Holy
Who made the original Fable trilogy?
Oh,
They
shit.
I think it was Lionhead Studios. Yeah, completely shuttered them.
God
which is
damn.
crazy.
Holy shit.
And that was like, dude, I don't know what at that point those Xbox executives were fucking crazy. They were on
Yeah,
crack, man.
that's
They were like
insane.
snorting a line and then can't like just going off, man. So yeah, I can understand why they don't want to bring back that stigma of them just canceling games.
Yeah.
Then also maybe that's a little better than releasing a game that is now probably the second worst high profile ish game of the year.
I would
Yeah.
say so.
Which
Yeah.
was actually was the worst game of the year until Golem came out.
Find a middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cancel shit games.
yeah, exactly. Like, I think this is the problem where like when games get cancelled, maybe it's for the best.
yeah.
You know, and I
Yeah.
think it is easy to be like, oh, what do they do? Like, they're canceling all these games, man. Like, I mean, a lot of games just get cancelled in pre-production like all the time. We just don't hear about
Yeah, we
them.
don't hear about them, yeah. Which is how it should be. Yeah.
And I think it is a little embarrassing to showcase a game for a couple of years and then eventually just cancel it. But this game only got announced, I believe, in 2021.
I still think it's better than releasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Like I honestly, I mean, there are some games that just, I think this is a lesson for them that some games are just worth canceling.
yeah.
Let me ask you
I just
boys
can't
something.
believe they saw this game.
What is
And
that animation?
Yeah, what is that animation?
What the fuck?
The thing is on the other side of it. It's yeah. It's
Let
just
me-
for the stake gun. For some reason,
me ask
you
you
load
boys.
the stakes in on the right side.
This game is bad. We know this game is bad.
It's just
right?
really bad.
We know. Do you think that it hurts more because of all of the good games that's come out this year as well? Do you think it hurts more?
No,
or
because
you-
honestly, I mean, Microsoft did release a good game this year, one good game, but I just feel like I think because last year Xbox basically released nothing,
Yeah,
You
true.
know, except for some smaller games. Like, I mean, I really enjoyed what I played of Pentiment, but that's a very niche game that not everyone is going to enjoy. It's a lot of reading. It's
Yeah.
like in the style of like an old English kind of like how they used to paint in,
Mm.
and it's like super niche. Like, not, you know, a lot of people, all the fucking Call of Duty and Gears of War boys are not going to play that game. Um, so there just wasn't a lot of high profile stuff from Xbox last year. So I think that adds to it where their touted big release of the year for the first half of the year is this.
Mm.
And it's like no one really has found any kind of fun in it at all,
Yeah.
except for some fanboys who were just dude, I've seen some. I don't know what it is
There's
about my
some-
For You page on Twitter, but they're all fucking PlayStation and Xbox fanboys.
Yeah.
And it's like some guy was like, "Oh, I just finished my 74th hour of this game of Redfall," and I'm like, "Bro,
It's
just
probably good now.
play good games. Just play a good game. Like you don't have to champion Xbox and play these absolute dog ass fucking games to prove a
70 hours of
point that
Redfall.
Xbox
Yeah,
isn't dead
I
or
hate
whatever.
brand loyalty. It fucking
Yeah,
sucks, man.
so
Just
gross.
buy a good product.
It's the same people that were like, "Oh, I love Forspoken." It's like, fuck off. No, you don't. No,
No.
you don't like Forspoken, bro. You don't.
No.
Like,
It's
yeah,
shit.
it's just sad. And honestly, the saddest thing from this is that 70% of that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, you know, even if they do make a single player game next, like, a lot
The
of the team
soul
that made
is
Prey is
Bro.
gone,
Mm.
and
Sorry,
they're
I
not gonna
forg-
come back. Like,
I forgot about the stealth animation, the stealth take animation. You just butt them
Just
in the
crouch.
back and they're dead.
yeah, I think it's definitely a cautionary tale in
Uh,
letting a game fester too long, and sometimes
100%.
it's better just to cut the cord.
Definitely.
100%. 100%.
On to nicer things. Do you want to intro this, Seto?
Yeah, sure. So, you have more Spider-Man 2 details, which is hopeful because we don't have one thing I was going to ask you because one thing we didn't see with the new trailer is we didn't get a release date, right?
No
We
release
did-
date.
No release date. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's gonna come soon. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
I would say by the end of like winter. I
Mhm.
mean, even midwinter, I'd say. Probably, you know, I mean, this month, I would assume there's going to be some kind of date, and they'll probably release pre-orders. There might be a collector's edition. I imagine there'll probably be a special edition PS5 as well.
Yeah.
Wow, man, it's going to look so
Oh,
good as
that'll
well.
look good.
It's going to
That'll
be
look
black
good.
with the white spider
Yeah.
or the.
Yeah,
man.
it looked really good, man.
See,
It
you know
looked
what they
really
need to
good.
do? They need to release collector's edition. What's it called? The plates.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can remove it off of the PS5. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
ain't nobody gonna buy a new console. Like,
No.
that's just
No.
insane.
But there will be people that buy the. You know,
I would
if
buy
they're
the
buying a
plates.
PS5.
I would buy the
Yeah, I
plates.
would
I would buy 'em.
absolutely buy some
Yeah.
sick fucking new PS5 plates for
Mm.
Spider-Man 2. Anyways, yeah. So there was the creative director did an interview with Eurogamer where he released some new details about how kind of some of the switching between Miles and Peter. Good timing on the trailer.
Yeah, that was great.
Good timing. Good timing.
So these are direct quotes from the interview. So he says, when you're playing the main story, we control when you switch between Pete and Miles. It's done in service to the story when making those switches for sure. Great. So that's what you saw here. So like, this is a scripted moment where in the story where you have to you're switching to Miles based on what's going on in the main story. And then they say we have content designed around Peter, we have content designed around Miles, and we have content where you can play either. So that's talking more about the open world stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say with open world.
Which is great. I'm hoping it's not so much like you see an icon on the map, you go there as Peter, and it's like, okay, now switch to Miles. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sort of hoping that when you switch to either character, it shows new symbols on the map.
I would-
Yeah,
that
I think it'll be
content.
exclusive stuff on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Because I feel like that would feel kind of bad if you're like, you see a bunch of icons, it's like, okay, this is a Miles mission, this is a Peter mission. Like, it'd be cool if it's a little more dynamic
Yeah.
that way, or it shows depending on who you're playing as.
think so.
And then they also say you'll be able to, in the open world, freely switch between them with a simple button press. Awesome. So
Awesome.
dope.
That's
It
really-
sounds exactly like how GTA does it.
Yeah,
GTA
100%.
Yeah.
Except it won't be a.
Yeah. Boof, boof, boof.
Yeah, it would just swap.
That was way too fast.
Ew, yeah,
It actually was too
it was
fast.
really too
It's
quick.
more with an SSD on GTA 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also mentioned something about the skill trees. So this character switching will also tie in with Spider-Man 2's 3 skill trees, one for Peter, one for Miles, and one that is shared.
That's cool.
Very
That's
cool. So you imagine like the one for Miles will be based on his Venom abilities. Still funny that they're called Venom abilities because he's
Yeah, when it's
like the
symbiote.
electricity is Venom.
Oh, that was a while ago.
yeah, and then Peter obviously symbiote abilities, and then shared obviously their shared kind of abilities that they have as Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm excited to hear more about this game.
Yeah,
And so it's
100%.
cool that we have some confirmation on how the switching works, which I think we were sort of expecting it to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm just glad we got some confirmation. And obviously, yeah, single player, no co-op. Which co-op would have been fun, I think.
It would have been cool,
But also, you know, we've said this before with co-op games, like you just lose the story when you're playing in co-op. It's
Yeah,
just
the
not
impact
really.
goes away.
unless they are co-op games that are set to be co-op, like It Takes Two and whatnot, you
Sure.
lose a story 100%.
But like, I mean, I was gonna say with Diablo 4, like I am very conscious of trying to understand the story, so I'm literally deafening Discord.
Yeah, because
when there's a
Shadow and I
cutscene.
keep memeing on.
So I just like I can just concentrate on the cutscene.
Yeah, because Shadow and I go there and we'll like go like, oh, is she actually understanding this or whatnot? Because like when they say dialogue,
yeah,
we'll just
they're
copy
fucking
the dialogue.
narrating the cutscene. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, motherfucker, I'm deafening. I'm muting the Discord channel. I'm not listening to that. But yeah, not a lot of details here, but enough to like little breadcrumb trail of as we lead up
Of
to launch,
information.
which I'm excited. Dude, I'm so excited for this game.
I'm very excited for this.
It's
Yeah.
weird how I'm not like, even after seeing the gameplay, like I'm weirdly not super hyped for it yet.
Mm.
I guess because I just don't have like that. Once the release date's out there, I think I
Oh, it's
can
so cool. So
let
cool
myself get a
entrance.
little more excited.
Yeah.
That's a fucking dude.
That's such a
That
cool
shot is so
entrance.
sick.
Fucking love that entrance. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good. I'm very keen for this as well. Like,
And also, like, I know a lot of people were complaining about the symbiote suit, just because of the texturing, I guess. But you have to imagine they'll probably have
better.
all the different comic variations of the symbiote suit that you can use.
True, I forgot
Oh,
about that.
shit.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping you
Yeah.
can do it so you can have like sort of the suit that you use when you've got the symbiote on you, but then also when you don't
When
have the
you take it
symbiote,
off?
like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can choose like two separate suits.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and obviously like Miles Morales is gonna get fucking Miles Morales in Spider-Verse's new suit, which is gonna be sick. Oh man,
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
really
wait.
cool.
I can't fucking wait. Dude, this game's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be. We know.
Now just
The-
make a Spider-Gwen game. It's
Do
something
you know?
else, please.
True.
God,
true.
please.
Do you know the
I hope that's
one
the
thing?
tease at the end of this.
Do you know the one thing that I am just not excited for in this game? And it's something small. It's so small. It's Peter's new face. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like
Yeah.
otherwise, really keen. It's just that new.
I mean, they haven't
goddamn
showed his
thing.
face yet.
True.
You know, maybe they've changed it.
You know what I hope? I just hope you
Pure
can.
cope. Pure
Bro, it's
fucking
pure
copium.
cope. It's pure cope for me saying this, but I hope you could just choose a face. Just
No,
let me choose
they're
it.
not gonna do that.
No,
That
I'm
is
gonna
funny
do
as
that.
fuck.
Bro,
No,
literally
yeah.
detachable face.
Yeah, detachable
Okay,
face.
if
but
they
yeah,
do that,
bro.
I want there to be a cutscene where he literally pulls the skin off his face and then replaces it with the new. They did say it's gonna be a darker story. That's also something they mentioned there. They're going for a more it's gonna be more dark and they said
Perfect.
somewhat sinister.
Perfect.
Something
Let him
along
pull his
those
face
lines,
off. That's great.
Yeah,
Let him
maybe
pull
not
his
that
face
far.
off.
I do like the three skill trees as well. I
That
like
is really
idea.
cool. That is really cool. It's
Hopefully
really
they're
cool.
well fleshed out because
Yeah.
I think maybe one skill tree per character. I'm not sure how big their skill trees will be. Hopefully they're because like in Spider-Man they had like it was just three skill trees.
It was
just
like
for
3
Peter.
sides, and then they had extensions onto them,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. But
It's
yeah.
not too long to wait. You know,
No,
we're already
not
at
at
the
all.
halfway point of the year nearly. So
Yeah,
coming up
pretty
soon.
exciting.
um,
A game that this is a game that we were hoping to see, but we didn't, and now it's kind of confusion. We were really excited for this, Jamie. Last of Us multiplayer. We were
Yeah.
very excited for this. So, yeah, what the hell is going on?
yeah. So I mean, we watched the PlayStation Showcase and it's like, oh, dude. I mean, like, the week before PlayStation Showcase, we're like, oh, dude. Last of Us
gonna see it.
factions guaranteed. That's
Yeah.
100% going to be there.
I think we all said that, right? We all said it
We
was-
all were very excited for that. That was like our sure
Yeah.
bet. And then we watched it, and it's like, oh, no factions.
Not
nothing.
there.
And so this is another Bloomberg report by Jason Schreier. He's churning these
He's
shits
going off.
out.
Mm.
About what is happening with the Last of Us multiplayer game. So I do have a little excerpt from the article. So I'll read it quickly. It won't be too long. So the gist is Sony Group Corporation has slowed down development on an upcoming multiplayer game in its long-running Last of Us video game series. I like how they write this as if like whoever's reading it doesn't know what video games are.
Yeah,
Love that.
exactly.
As the creators reassess its quality and long-term viability, according to 4 people familiar with the project. The team working on the game was scaled back after a recent evaluation, said the people, who asked not to be named because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. A small group remains on the project while the company reevaluates the direction. While the game has not been cancelled, many of its developers have been moved to other projects. Naughty Dog has been developing the multiplayer title for at least 4 years. It started as a complementary mode to The Last of Us Part 2, the single player game released in 2020, but the creators grew ambitious and decided to make it into its own game, Naughty Dog said. That was around when Last of Us 2 was being released. They had a statement about that. Sony has invested heavily in games as a service, or video games designed to be monetized beyond their initial sales through ongoing purchases. If you didn't know what games as a service were, as part of that push, it asked another of its video game studios, Seattle-based Bungie, to evaluate the games across its portfolio. Bungie raised questions about the Last of Us multiplayer project's ability to keep players engaged for a long period of time, which led to the reassessment. Yes.
If Bungie is reassessing, then
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Dude, oh man, I saw the most fucking cringe take from a PlayStation fanboy that was like, what does Bungie know about
you
why
mean?
are we
What do you
taking
mean?
their analysis to heart?
bro. I think Bungie has
like,
one of
come
the
on,
best perspectives.
How
on
many
keeping
I was gonna say
players'
how many
attention.
studios have been like, dude, we've got a 10-year plan.
Yeah,
And none of them fucking fall through. And you know what developer fucking is doing?
yeah.
Bungie.
I was
Bungie
gonna
is
it may
doing
be
it.
the most, maybe second most successful in maybe like World of Warcraft.
Except for some, I was gonna say
Yeah,
some of
no,
the
no, yeah,
other
we
MMOs.
talked
I'd
about
say
this-
Final Fantasy 14's up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about this. Final Fantasy and Destiny 2 are the two most successful MMOs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's other
Yeah.
games. You've got Rocket League, which has been going on for a few years now.
Yeah,
You got
100%.
Fortnite, obviously. But those obviously started a little bit later. So I think, I think Bungie has sort of been at the forefront. Also, spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 maybe in a second. Maybe I'll skip along. It doesn't matter. It's been out for 3 years.
Been out
been
for
out
eight.
for
Everyone
years.
knows that Joel is dead.
That's true. That is true. So yeah, this is just so sad. These two news stories about Redfall and Last of Us are just very, very
It's really
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
The only glint of hope is when Naughty Dog released their statement on Twitter. They did say they're working on a single player game. Sort of already, we already knew that was happening.
Yeah.
Now we've got
100%.
confirmation that yes, they are working on another project.
And it may be coming before the multiplayer game.
I think this game's gonna be cancelled, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
think,
100%.
and maybe it should.
Yeah.
We just talked about Redfall and how Microsoft was not assessing their games properly. Hey, at least Sony is getting someone who's experienced,
Yeah.
Bungie, to look at this product, and if it's not working, it's not working.
I mean, if Bungie's worried, I think they do have a legitimate cause for
Oh,
concern.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
And I can
Bungie board.
totally see there was another point in this article where they specifically mentioned that Naughty Dog is they're trying to make this game their own way, which worries me because I'm like, Naughty Dog doesn't know how to make a live service game.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just
they do
don't.
single
Like they're
player.
really
They do
fucking
single
great at
player.
making single player, story based, emotional, gut wrenching, action packed kind of games. They don't know how to make a live service game that can persist for years and years and years and years. So I think they do need Bungie's assistance when it comes
Yeah.
to making it, getting that addictive gameplay loop going.
100%.
And it makes me think like I don't know what this game was. If it's a Tarkov kind of extraction kind of game, I feel like the engagement is sort of not easy to get, but it's easier because you sort of had that loop already kind of pre-existing. So I'm wondering if it's
Yeah.
maybe not going to be that. Like it was.
They were
Maybe
really
it was
trying their own thing.
just.
Maybe
Maybe
they're
it was
trying
just
to-
like factions in Last of Us,
Yeah.
where it's just like a 5v5 mode, and then you have like I know factions had this sort of like this camp management system where you would get resources from a multiplayer match, and then you would inject those into your camp. And
Yeah.
at certain points, they would give you choices on where you want those resources to go, and that would affect how many survivors you have.
Well, that's
Really
cool for a
cool. It was a really cool
supplementary.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about
But
for a
it-
whole game.
It was very much a supplementary mode. And the fact that this was originally something that was going to be complementary to Part 2,
That's
that
true.
then spun off into its own thing, it's like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was this really apart from just a factions game?
Yeah.
If they are struggling as well, you could see it as so when we talked about the DayZ, like because as we said, AAA has never really tried that before. So
Yeah,
it could have been that they got overambitious with it.
I would
and
love that
yeah.
so much.
It would be so good, but yeah.
And it would be very ambitious. So it does
Very,
line up with like
yeah.
the, it being very, very ambitious and having to be spun off into its own thing.
100%. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
I don't know. I don't know if Naughty Dog's the right studio to do it, is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
think we need another studio because they, as I said, they do single player. I couldn't see them doing it.
And it really would break my heart if they release this multiplayer game and it's dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
they
I'd
just pull a
prefer they didn't.
Redfall.
Yeah, I think it's maybe best if they just, at the moment it says there's only a small group working on it at the moment, while the company's reevaluating its direction.
It sounds like they're
Yeah.
just keeping a team there to basically keep it breathing, so they before they cancel it if they decide
Yeah.
to, or while they
While I think about
Well,
While
it.
they
decide whether or not
reevaluate,
to.
which is just I can't imagine how bad it could have been to, because at least like a team kind of gives its notes on something, like you don't like it can't like a lot of the time it's not going to be so bad that they're like, oh, we need to literally reevaluate all of this based on this
that's
feedback.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
must be. It
exactly.
must have been some pretty damning kind of responses from Bungie
Yeah.
to get to that point.
100%.
But hey, good on PlayStation 4 at least
Actually, thinking about
getting
it.
some feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
From someone who
Unless-
knows what they're doing.
Yeah, which is very nice. That's very good because, as we just said, it's a good thing.
But yeah, bit depressing. A couple of depressing news stories.
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
look, we
no,
can
that's how
get
it
into
goes.
some.
And I will say it is a cool like little window into game development at the moment.
Yes.
So
Well,
that
look,
is.
we
is
can
the
get into some
plus
good
side
shit
to it, I
now.
guess.
We can get into what we've been playing. We can enjoy ourselves. We can get into what we've actually been playing. I think, Nathan, we might start with you. I think we better because we've already talked a lot about Tears of the Kingdom. And
Yeah, I've not got much to say about it, obviously, this time.
Yeah.
We've talked about it for 2 weeks in a row now. I finished the game 2 days ago. And I think the story was pretty good. Obviously, it's a Zelda game. You don't expect, like, a ridiculously good story or anything. I do wish they went in a different direction. Maybe we will go into that at some point. Obviously,
Yes.
I don't want to do any spoilies.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that it would have been better if they went a different way, but also maybe there would have been some restrictions on future games. But yeah,
I think I'm understanding what you're getting at. I think I might understand.
You already
I don't.
know anyway.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I sort of expected that to be the way it goes.
Yeah. You already guessed it, but and what else would you expect? But,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It was good, and obviously it's a fantastic game. It's my favorite, definitely my favorite game. I think I've played ever.
Really?
The gameplay is just insane.
I mean, that's
like,
true.
I think you'd have to definitely split it off into a few different categories of what would make a good game. Obviously,
Yeah.
story definitely not the best, but yeah, of pretty much everything else, I'd say this is up there.
Yeah.
In the top echelon for everything.
And I mean, gameplay really is king. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
For
as
sure.
good as stories can be, like, if the gameplay, there's a lot of Telltale games that have great stories, but because the gameplay is sort of nothing, it's like they don't really sit very highly on my list of
Yeah,
best games because it is just the story.
it's just a story.
And so, at the end of the day, that's the gameplay is really where I mean, especially where Tears of the Kingdom sings. I will say, are there really great musical moments in this game? Because I haven't experienced them yet. I've seen because I've sort of been disappointed by the music so far in this
a
game.
couple. It's not actually as often as I'd like because after I heard that main track with the saxophone, I was like, oh, this is gonna pop off. But
Yeah.
it doesn't actually happen that often. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
definitely-
I've noticed too.
good themed like music, but it's not
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is a banger or anything. It's just, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, they've
normal.
been very restrained.
Yeah.
In terms of like how hard they go with the music.
yeah,
Which I've sort of been a little disappointed by that, but I will say some of the temple boss fights do have some bangers.
yeah.
The Wind Temple did have a good track behind it, and I was feeling hyped doing it. So hopefully, as I progress further in the game, there'll be some moments.
It's and that is the thing I have to say about all the boss fights. They're all like, especially the last one, it's hype and like you can feel the energy behind it all with like everyone coming
That's
together.
great.
It's
Dude,
awesome.
That's
yeah.
oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'll definitely whenever I'm not playing Diablo 4, I will be going chipping away at Tears of the Kingdom, and hopefully I'll be finishing it soon and we can discuss the ending.
I would like to.
Yes.
Alrighty, get into the game that actually is important here.
No, okay. Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about Diablo 4. Because Seto and I have been playing it from last night when it released in early access. Early access, it's kind of the launch, but it's
the
not
launch. Yeah.
It's a launch if you spend more money. It's you see, here's the thing, right? Is that we've only really done what we did in the beta.
Yes, exactly.
So
We've
it's kind
only
of hard
done
to
the
judge it so far on the merits of the full release.
Yeah.
I am really enjoying it still.
Yeah,
Nothing's
same.
really changed. I will say I feel like some of the bosses have been a little tankier.
100%, 100%.
which is great because I feel like in the beta we were just kind of like deleting everything by the end of
Yeah.
it. And so I felt like there's a little bit more skill involved in surviving, and
Yes.
Shadows died a couple times, so there
No
is
surprise. No, I'm kidding.
there is a level of there is some survivability concerns, which is good. I think.
Yes.
I've been playing Sorcerer, which I played in the beta, but I've chosen kind of a new build. I'm focusing on ice and freezing,
Yep.
versus when I was doing fire and kind of like burn damage in the beta. I really like how different it feels like I'm playing my Sorcerer versus in the beta. So I appreciate that there feels like there will be a lot of viable builds. Hopefully when we get to endgame.
Yep.
I don't know. So how have you felt about playing Druid, which you didn't play in the
so I was gonna go Barb, but then I decided actually to go Druid because Druid is basically the same. It's just that you got magic. It's basically the exact same thing, and it's been fun. No, it's been really fun. So yeah, I've been doing a build which is basically like a this like storm werewolf build basically, and I will say the biggest difference I'm feeling is death is very difficult to do with this build. It's very hard to die because you have so much damage reduction and so much healing that can just go on top that it is kind of hard, and that's kind of what the point of it is, and it's very fun to do. Like, it's very fun because I'm just kind of standing there whacking away, and I just have to manage how my skills and cooldowns are going because otherwise I'll die.
Sorry, what? Standing there whacking away.
It's good. But no, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying. Like, the thing is, like the only real new content that we've really done is at level 15, each class gets their own like special like aspect or boon or whatever it is, right? I don't know exactly what it's called, but like I know as a druid, I have to go off and I had to find a stronghold, which was like way out of the left field to actually do
he had to
something
go
like
to
that.
the top left of the map to do his level 15 quest.
Yeah, to find out in a stronghold. We were able to do it because I had Jamie and Shadow there, thank God, to help me out.
It would have
Because
been funny. It would have been funny seeing you do it solo though.
that would have been horrible.
Because they were like level 18, 19 enemies while he's level 15.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like up at the top of the map, fighting this stronghold that like I'm guessing because it's like I guess it's the druid's like home base or whatever.
It is. It's a Druid's Hope base.
And so that's
yeah.
why you go there. But it's
Yes.
sort of weird how they like there's not a lot of signposting on
No.
the fact that it's a level 15 quest, but the actual stronghold itself is like level
Yeah, because
19.
when you hover over it, it says like level 15 in the area. It's like, okay, so level 15, like you can do it fine. But yeah, as soon as we go in, the enemy's a level 18 because I guess the level 15 is just the quest itself, right? But yeah, like Druid gets some really cool abilities. Like you basically can get boons from certain spirits, and they give you like plus 25% duration to your ultimate ability, or you just get straight up thorns. Like you get just 10 thorns, and whenever you get hit, you just hurt them back basically. Like you get some really cool abilities off of it, which is like it's a very nice little touch you get on top of you because it adds to your build so much more. And on top of that, once you fully get all the boons on top of a certain spirit, you get a thing called spiritual boon, which is like basically the ultimate boon you can get out of that spirit. Haven't unlocked that yet. Don't know what it is. But Jamie, you also did your quest. You had to like find a dungeon and whatnot yourself.
It was just mine was a lot less muted than yours. I didn't have to do a
Yeah.
stronghold. I just had to go to a dungeon in Fractured Peaks, which is like the starting area.
Yeah.
The dungeon was kind of tough. Like I literally went there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll probably be able to solve this. Fucking got completely wrecked. Like
Yeah, we had to
immediately
come in and
deleted.
help you out. Yeah.
I was, I sorcerers are sort of a glass cannon,
You
so
are a glass
my
cannon,
survivability isn't as great, and
100%.
I definitely think a sorcerer is more for at least at the moment group play. Like I think if I was doing this solo, I would be struggling a lot more than when
Rely
I
on
have-
someone else taking your hits.
Exactly. And yeah, so I'm also not really sure what I unlocked. It was some kind of, so I can grab one of my skills, slot it into sort of like a new section of my skill map,
Yeah.
and it gives me like a passive bonus depending on what skill I choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've obviously got a lot of experimentation to do there to find out what the best kind of passive bonus I can get at the moment. Because I didn't see that mentioned in like the build that I'm running with. So that's interesting.
I think
yeah,
it's because
but
it happens later on. Because when I was taking a look at mine, mine was a build. Once you get past 50, then it starts talking about all the boons and what boons you get. And
Right,
whatnot.
okay.
So I
Yeah, that
think
makes sense.
Starting bit is just your skills.
But yeah, I mean, this is a game that this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg with this game. Like, I'm
Yeah,
obviously going to play
100%.
many, many, many hours, and
Yeah.
there's going to be the seasonal content. So it's hard to have, to have a proper verdict on it after like, what did we play, like 5 hours last night? Very
Yeah.
early on. It's sort of similar to what I did when I played Tears of the Kingdom on that Friday night and just fucking fell asleep because I was so tired.
Yeah.
But obviously by next week, we'll all have a lot more to say about Diablo 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Nathan, you're gonna get it as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And then and also more classes. Like I'll be playing some other classes. So
Yeah, I started with Necromancer today, which I'm just done the same build as I did in the beta, so I really can't talk about it. So yeah, like
yeah, I'm very excited to dig more into this game. I will say
100%.
from like a top level thoughts, like the game's gorgeous. I love the art
Oh,
style.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
The gameplay is super satisfying. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be playing as much as I did in the betas versus now. And I also the good thing about the best thing about the gameplay is that like it's so good that I don't mind that I'm repeating stuff that I did in the beta.
Yeah,
Because it's
same.
just fun to just mow through enemies.
Yeah, 100%.
And even some of the stuff we've found some dungeons that we didn't necessarily find in the beta.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some cool. I'm very very keen to dig in deeper into this game.
100%. That was the one thing you reminded me of, and I was going to say that this is one of my favorite things about it. Inside of dungeons, you can get basically like public events inside of dungeons, which is really cool. And you basically get more loot out of it where you can go in. There was one really funny one where there was this girl who was like, "Hey, help us!" We came, like, "Ah, we got more dinner," and then we just slaughtered them all. Like they all just
Yeah,
died.
it was just like
yeah.
this group of bandits sitting in this dungeon, like luring us over there.
Yeah.
And then they just started attacking us. But then by the she was doing the dialogue, and by the time the dialogue ended, they were all dead.
Yeah, they're already
Because
dead.
we just like mowed through them because they were like super low level enemies. But yeah, I
Yeah.
will say the sort of the world events that happen inside dungeons very cool. And
It
they're
is really
happening
nice.
more frequently than they did in the beta, which is very
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it
think
is
that's really going
nice.
to help with when you repeat dungeons on like higher difficulties, especially when you do the nightmare tier version of them. Kind of seeing different events and getting different loot out of those events is going to be a cool kind of experience. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, we don't have that much to talk about right now. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
next week we'll have
it's
a lot
very,
more.
very top level thoughts, but
It is good fun.
I mean, they're all good thoughts. I'm just
Yeah,
very
exactly.
excited
I
to
am very
get
excited
stuck
to get
back
back into
into
it.
it and
It's
play
still a good game.
Still a
many
good
hundred
game.
of hours. And yeah, unsurprisingly, very good game, and is running very well on PC and like
Oh, thank God.
server wise.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah, that's the thing. I literally logged in 2 hours early. It's like, okay, I'm gonna log in now, get
Start
through
the
the
queue.
servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, start the queue,
It's
get
just
through.
the-
But I got
it's
on
the,
immediately, and yeah, servers are running great.
Yeah,
so,
it's
yeah,
it's the PTSD from New World, I think.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that was such a fuck. That
It's
was
such
so
a
bad.
shit
Crap.
launch. Yeah,
So
I remember.
bad.
I remember on the main server, you would have to log on the day beforehand to be in queue to get in the next day.
Oh, that's right. I joined like a completely separate world to you guys just so
Yeah,
I could
you
fucking
were-
play the
to
game.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
solo by yourself.
God.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Maybe
good.
one day we'll go back to New World.
Maybe.
There's been a lot of updates. Yeah.
I did. I mean, I was enjoying what we were playing for sure.
Yo, yeah, I was enjoying it. It's just, yeah, and then there was a bunch of economy issues and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll keep talking about it another
Got a
time.
bit broken.
It got a bit
It
broken.
did get a bit broken.
We'll talk about it another time. Yeah. Top 100 boys. Top 100.
Let's do it.
It's time.
Yeah, it's
For the
time.
top 100.
Okay.
I'm so prepared. I've got my game ready.
I also have my game ready.
So,
I will go first. We talked about it a little bit this podcast. I wasn't expecting to do it, but I am gonna put in Hollow Knight onto this. I gonna put it on. I'm actually because we were gonna reorganize this week, but since we're doing it next week, I haven't really thought about a spot to put it. So I'm literally gonna keep it at the bottom. Since we're reorganizing, I'm just gonna keep it at the bottom, and then I'll find a spot for it next week. I
Okay.
do not mind. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. Good game. Like we've already talked about this game enough. Like it's really good. Music's great and the atmosphere is amazing.
I need to finish it.
Good.
It's one of the best roguelites I've played.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's really.
and
really
it's not even really a roguelite. It's more
No.
like a
It's like a
it's a
soul.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's
Metroidvania with
yeah.
like run based kind of
Yeah.
It's like a mix of like a Souls like with a roguelite with a
Yeah.
Metroidvania.
I'm eventually gonna
It's
do it. I'm gonna-
fantastic. Great art style as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it after Diablo, but 100% in this game is actually really, really cool, and I'm gonna do it eventually. When I
Good
do it, I can talk
luck.
about it. Yeah,
Go for
it's,
the
it's a piece of shit.
109% run.
109% run. That's what I'm gonna do, and it's really cool how you gotta do it. But yeah,
I gotta say, just side note, I love when games do that.
oh,
When
it's
there's
so
like
cool.
when it goes above 100%, for
Yeah.
like extra stuff.
Yeah.
That's just like super satisfying to me.
It is.
I don't
It's
know.
really,
I love
really cool.
it. I love
yeah.
that stuff.
Anyway, Jeremy, what about you? You said you had your game prepared as well.
Yeah, I am going to put Hitman World of Assassination on the list.
That's a
so if
good
you don't know,
choice.
World of Assassination encompasses all 3 Hitman games.
Yeah.
It's now one game. So I'm going to cheat and put that as my
That's a fantastic choice.
I like
as
that.
my game.
Did I spell assassination wrong there? I feel like it's only one
No,
double S.
No, it's
Oh,
ass
it's two
ass.
double
It is
S's.
ass
Yeah, no,
ass.
you're right.
Ass.
Yeah.
Yes, ass I Nation.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it at number 19.
Number 19.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is a good choice.
Yeah, it's a great
yeah,
Fantastic
this is
fucking
yeah,
game.
fantastic.
One of the best stealth action games
Yeah, all the shit
Um,
you can do in that game is insane, and especially with
I
doing,
honestly need
like,
to play more of it. Like
Yeah.
they added
Yeah.
this year, they added a roguelite mode where
Yeah,
you have
bro,
randomly
no.
generated
What?
contracts.
Yeah, legitimately,
And it's like Tarkov.
really
You build
good.
up an arsenal of weapons and you take them into a contract, and if you fail it, you lose those.
Yeah.
I'm playing that.
No,
And it's you
legitimately,
gain money and currency to buy.
I haven't even played
I
the third
do.
game yet.
I
It's
haven't.
fantastic. It is
I
fucking
completely forgot to
fantastic.
talk about that, but no, legitimately, it's really good. I played it. It's really
I
good.
gotta.
Because
I
also,
have to just set aside some time to just get deeper into Hitman: World of Assassination because I really have only just done the campaigns.
yeah.
And I feel like I barely scratched the surface, but it is that good.
The
that it
cool thing
deserves to be on
about
the
that
list.
as well is that you do get things that you unlock permanently. So like there's rooms inside of your base that you unlock permanently throughout your playthrough, which is really cool as well. Like it's actually really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, no, that's a very good choice. Nathan, what is your choice?
Now that I've finished it, I'm gonna add it.
Yeah,
You're gonna add it?
Yeah,
I'm adding it.
understandable.
Tears of
Understandable.
the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Where are you
yeah.
putting this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, oop,
Oh.
white. It's just doing Excel things.
Yeah. Bootleg Excel things.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's see it. Where are you putting it?
It's gonna ruffle some feathers at the top 10.
Yeah, understandable.
Okay.
Number 2?
Okay.
Number
that's fair.
two.
Number 2?
That's fair.
Number 2. I could see it.
No,
I
I
can see
don't.
it.
I don't know. Like, yeah,
I mean, I honestly
Yeah.
think it's probably gonna end up at number 1 by the end. By the end
I
of this list.
am actually, with everything I've heard, everything I've seen, I am okay with Tears of the Kingdom. Yet.
it's so close to being number one. It's just because they're on two completely separate levels. These games, it's so hard to compare.
judge them.
Yeah.
It really is.
But I think I'm happy with where that is for now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Next week we can
Okay.
talk about it. Next week we can talk about it, and we can.
I'm
see if
gonna
we
I'm
wanna
gonna
push it number
aim
one.
to finish the game by next week when we rearrange it. So then at least
Smart
I'll have
move.
more of a say.
Yeah.
Smart move. Smart move. But yeah, no. This is
Nice.
actually a good 3. I'm happy with these 3. These were fine.
It's
These are good
funny.
picks.
I controversially I'm gonna want to move Red Dead Redemption 2 next week.
What down?
A little bit down. Yeah.
Really?
I want to swap it with Minecraft.
Yeah.
Real? Oh, actually, no. Yeah, I can see that. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I would
I think
actually.
for us
Yeah.
specifically, I think Minecraft is something that we can all point to as like
Yeah.
one of our favorite
I-
games.
I'm okay. Well, we'll talk about what next week.
We'll talk
I'm
about it next week.
Yeah,
but
Red Dead down, 1, move God of War down, Minecraft above that, where Red Dead is now. I think that's what I'm
I'd
doing.
take God of War out of the top 10.
To be honest, I
I'm
would
gonna
agree.
I'm gonna make some controversial picks next week. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's for next
I'm
week.
gonna push. Yeah, that's for next week. We're gonna push a little bit. But anyway, okay, cool. Well, that was good fun. A little bit of a shorter episode, but that's perfectly fine. And we had some good chats about video
Got
games.
some
But yeah.
dungeon crawling to do.
Yeah, got some dungeon crawling to do. We're going to play some Diablo now. So yeah, thank you all very much for listening. This has been the 19th episode, and we'll see you all.
Episode 20 next week.
Yeah, in episode 20.
We're
yeah.
way beyond Thrones.
way beyond the other.
We're
podcast,
now
yes.
we're now 6 episodes beyond.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah,
Can
so
we get to a year?
Can we get to a year?
The coveted 52?
Yeah, 52. We'll see you all next week for the 20th episode of 71st Hour Podcast. I was about to call Thrones Night Chats. I was about to call it
20th
that.
episode of Thrones Chats. We're renaming it.
Yeah, renaming it. We'll. All right, we'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.